Welcome back to the channel, Foo. Thanks for tapping in. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe with flag videos like this.
So this guy bought this LG washing machine that was smart and Wi-Fi enabled. And one day he was looking at his internet consumption and realized that the washing machine was using 3.5 gigabyte of data a day. He went on to find out, and he was shocked. He was highly suspicious. What kind of information is this washing machine sharing? Well, apparently washing machines are collecting a significant amount of data, including personal information, date of birth, location, access to photos. Now, this is what many people are wondering. The Internet of Things, right? Everything being wireless, everything being smart, collecting data, and it goes down a rabbit hole, similar to a lot of theories that's already out there. And that's why I really don't have any smart things in my home, other than this phone, and I think that's about it. I don't have any newly enabled Wi-Fi fridge, washer, dryer, fridge, or any of that stuff. You want to keep your home as organic and Amish as possible.
So people that have never broken a bone, they're supposed to endure emotional pain more than physical pain.
Whoa!
In life.
Whoa!
Yeah, and so the reason for that is like, the universe knows that you're already going through so much emotional pain. That's why they're protecting you from all the physical pain. I knew that was gonna get to you, because I do the same, fam. I've never broken a bone. I go through mentally all the time.
Damn.
Yeah. Yes,
Damn,
fam.
that makes a lot of sense.
I knew you were gonna get. I knew that was gonna hit that. I knew. Yo, when I read this, I would go into my notes. I'm like, yeah, that's gonna get him, and that was the perfect reaction.
Fuck.
If you don't know it, yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's actually crazy.
Yeah, fam.
You know what I heard too?
Yeah.
You're a firstborn, right?
Yeah, firstborn.
There's a theory on the firstborn.
Of what?
And it's actually in the Bible.
Oh,
yeah. So every firstborn, they have one duty. And they have one purpose they have to fulfill.
Someone please tell me what the fuck that is. Someone please tell me what the fuck is that? Oh my god. That better be fake.
I just got to my apartment. I don't know who left this out here. What is that?
When are they going to make hanging seats outside planes so people can enjoy fresh air?
In 2026, we see Mr. Nicolas Maduro defeated. Nicolas Maduro will flee Venezuela. He will not be captured, he will flee Venezuela. The United States should prepare because Mr. Donald Trump will fall seriously ill. The conflict between Russia and Ukraine is in conversation. As if they were calling for attention. I see this conflict will end. It will finish. They will raise the flag of peace.
In late 1991, an Anglican priest and UFO researcher named Ray Boche traveled to Lincoln, Nebraska for a meeting that he was told never happened. He was meeting with two scientists who worked for the U.S. Defense Intelligence Agency, or DIA. These were men with the highest security clearances imaginable. These are men who spent their days analyzing classified data from satellite intercepts and military sensors. But when they sat down across from Ray, they weren't acting like hardened intelligence officers. They were shaking. They were terrified. They handed Ray a stack of documents and told him a story that seemed impossible. They explained to him that inside the Pentagon, a secret program had been established to communicate with what the government called non-human entities, or NHEs. The scientists explained that the government had successfully established contact and were receiving messages. They were receiving technical diagrams. Now, on the surface, it just looked like a diplomatic exchange with an advanced extraterrestrial civilization. However, scientists told Ray that there was a problem. They said that these entities were liars. The entities would show the government analysts images of the future, terrible cataclysms, wars, environmental collapse, and then promised that they had the technology to save humanity. They presented themselves as these benevolent space brothers here to guide us into a new age. But the two scientists had noticed a disturbing pattern. The more they interacted with these things, the more their own personal lives began to fall apart. They described poltergeist activity following them home from the lab. They spoke of shadows standing at the foot of their beds, or their families falling ill, of a dark, oppressive atmosphere that had nothing to do with science and everything to do with spiritual warfare. They told Ray Bochi that they had come to a horrifying conclusion. The US government weren't talking to aliens. They were talking to fallen angels, and the government was unknowingly entering into a Faustian bargain, trading human access for forbidden technology. Now, this meeting in '91 was the first crack in the dam, revealing a silent civil war that has been raging inside the American intelligence community for decades. While the public was being fed movies about E.T. and Close Encounters, a faction known as the Collins Elite was desperately trying to shut down these programs. They weren't trying to hide the truth from the public, they were just trying to save the souls of the people involved. But the Collins Elite failed. The lure of the technology was too strong. You see, the reason the government couldn't stop engaging with these entities is because of what we call the arms race. History shows us that while the US was recovering craft, so were the Russians and the Chinese. Now, the logic in the Pentagon was that if these entities are demons, so be it. We cannot let our enemies harness their power before we do. And in fact, not to side rail off too much, but this is the exact same mentality with creating a super intelligent AI. We can see that in the highest echelons in the government. Nothing changes. It's the same mentality, the greed for ultimate power before anybody else gets it. Well,
ellos siempre han estado. La manipulación. Somos como niños. Ante nuestros ojos se encuentran. Son casi humanos, pero mejorados. Son carnívoros. Y al parecer ellos comen algo de nosotros o a nosotros. Se dice que están desde el principio, más creadores que un mito.
There's a civilization up on Mars, two factions that have been fighting for hundreds of years, and that fight is still going on. That's why we're not allowed to land anything there, and if we try to send up anything there, they shoot it down. There's a civilization up on Venus. Venus is a really nice place to live, and they look like just, us. Uranus has civilizations, and the people are in huge round containers that contain housing, and they orbit Uranus. The one that orbited between Jupiter and Mars was a planet called Man. I think there was 100 billion people there. They had tremendous innovations. Their buildings were, made of gold and silver and highways of diamonds. It was really something. That plan did not fit into the agenda that the serpents had. And the serpents, I've told you, are the head of everything that goes on in this universe. And for some reason, Planet Man, they blew it up. It took them 1.5 seconds. Nothing was left except the asteroid belt. All the stuff gold and stuff we find on the surface of the Earth, those come from the Planet Man disintegrating.
Okay, so some of you guys were talking about another angle and stuff like that. This one's from ABC. This is a follow-up from my other video. Somebody was talking about how they saw something moving there, and you can kind of sort of see something there, but that could be whatever. I don't know. But here in just a second, you're going to see from a farther back angle, like it's pulled back farther than this one, than the other video. So go ahead and press play, babe. And then make all this go away. Press up. There you go. All right, guys. Watch. This one's from ABC. The other one was from Fox. Just watch. And it looks like it hesitates back there. Like, it's crazy.
Come on now. Drones aren't that fast.
This is a subject that's going to get you banned if you Google this. Will Smith had been molested, and he's molesting others. He got his power stripped from him. He's trying to get it back. Will Smith's own son, in a video interview, said, "My daddy comes home, he takes his pants off and does it," and then Will Smith goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" Yeah.
When I'm at school, sometimes my dad would just pull his pants down.
The minute you're molested, you've lost your power. In fact, it's a form of selling your soul. Actually, when you get molested, there is an aspect to your soul being taken. And so that's why they do it in Hollywood. Oh my gosh, you can't have a demon, you're a Christian, you've got the Holy Spirit. Okay, let me just bring something down for you. There's demons talking to you like 24/7. People just don't realize it. You know, schizophrenic people at least realize that the voices talking to them are not them. And like, you gotta think about this. Like, there's people that are attracted to goats and they get erections. And this is true. And there's people. And it's disturbing. They got her and they put her in a witch prison.
Where's that?
It's like every time she went to bed, she woke up in a prison where they murdered her over and over for like 11 years in dreams. For 11 years. That's the Statue of Liberty that sat in front of the Roman Colosseum where they were sacrificing, beheading Christians. This is where we get the idea of the Roman candle. Do you know what a Roman candle is? The firework? Yeah, Roman candles were actually Christians that they covered in wax and lit on fire on a pagan stick right there. He's got a 7-pointed broken crown, but he's sitting, there's an apple at his feet. Where does the Statue of Liberty rest? At the big apple, right? And then he's got the chain on his foot, which the Statue of Liberty has a broken chain because he's been let out. Because he's been let out. That's what's going on.
In terms of like the quality of it, but I mean, just in terms of the size, I mean, it wasn't even a very big budget, and I just kind of thought, when it's
again, it's all conspiracy. He didn't go along with the script. He didn't do what they wanted to. Just like, again, I guess sometimes we thinking about Jordan and his father passing away. Like, what was up with that? And a few other people. I think about Bill Cosby and his son passing away some years ago, and just a few other people. I'm like, are these people not following the script, not doing what the higher ups want them to do? So they got to send out that warning message.
I'm looking at it like this too. How many fights has Jake Paul had? Like at least
7,
5 to 8.
Yeah.
5 to 8. Let's go. If you notice, now I just saw this today. Something bad happened to these fighters either before the fight or after the fight. Something never was quite right with them. Case in example, look at Mike Tyson.
He had blood clots and other stuff.
Something happened to Mike Tyson that you never heard ever happen to Mike Tyson before.
Nate Robinson just went into oblivion.
Nate Robinson. One dude, I can't remember his name, but he ended up quitting boxing to become a plumber.
Yeah.
And
White dude.
Collins, it was another MMA fighter too, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was another one. His career was pretty much over after they fought.
Yeah, something is not right.
But again, it could all be coincidence if y'all wanna. But I don't know, because me and you was talking about it before it came out who the two victims was. So I was like, yo, if it's anybody he's related to, and not just some random people that was in the same car as him at that time, hey, it might be a targeted hit.
So I heard something coming from out of this room. I'm recording just in case anything happens. But yeah, doing my patrol, heard something up here. What? Nope. Oh, fuck no.
will watch 9 seasons of this on Netflix.
Why yellow? Because they come from different places. They were volunteers to populate the earth.
Different species of
Yeah, he said that they, at the beginning, they bring animals so that the ecosystem can be created. They bring plants, animals, with those species, and they turn, they just take them out. And then they bring another species. With the humans, they did the same. He said that's why you're never gonna find the missing link, because it doesn't exist. At least not in the earth. The thing is that when I wake up in the morning, just to make coffee and go, fishing, when I opened the door was just closed, but not with the lock. And then when I touch the handle, that's when I remember all that we're talking at night. When I touch the handle, everything comes in my mind. I see it for a while and drink coffee. I was dreaming. Yeah. No ears. The nose is just a little bump with 2 little holes. His mouth is just, I have a photo somewhere, but it looked like a flash. I have somewhere, maybe I don't know. He said, he smiled. He said, we made those. We made those. We made them when we need to do something outside, so that we don't have to expose ourselves. So we made them. They don't have a reproductive system. They don't have digestive system. So they don't last long. If you want that they last longer, we mash greens, plant, and I just rub it in the skin, and they will last for a few days more. But to the point that they just die.
So they're like genetic robots?
Yeah, they said that at the beginning they used DNA from monkeys. Now they are cloning the same thing. He explained exactly what happened. He said, do you know that people believe in devil, in demons, and they sacrifice animals and they take the gods and offer the gods to the demons? He said that why? Because when those two species get involved with all, they were stranded here. They can't go out. So they are degenerated. So they are trying to do something with themselves so that they can reproduce and keep going.
Keep their civilization growing?
The species. He said.
Where are those two species? Are they in the oceans?
No. He said, you never realize when all the world talk about demons, they always show you to the earth. And then we talk about the angel or God, they always sign to
space,
to the sky, because those two species are grounded. In another meeting that we have, when I went there in the lighthouse, I went there, I parked the car, I just walked through the trail, and he was waiting for me.
This is the 4-ingredient cocktail that big corporations are using to poison our pineal gland and keep us disconnected from the higher world.
It will be a movement driven by big corporations to take the soul away from people, to disconnect people from the higher world. And in order to do that, we have to destroy the pineal gland in people. And I followed the research on that, and amazingly what we found, the pineal gland is the most sensitive part of our central nervous system, and is highly, highly, highly sensitive to 4 things: aluminum, glyphosate, fluoride, and Wi-Fi. And we are the only country in the world that has pushed these 4 things in the last 60 years or so on everybody growing up here. There must have been an ultra-intelligence group of scientists who have designed this protocol to fluoridate the drinking water, to put nanonized aluminum in the air, to put glyphosate in the food, and then activate it, spark it with the right frequencies.
This is an opera building, okay? Who would have their opera in this stone building? This building, it says, itself cost $7.5 million in 1861. 1861. $7.5 million. It also has $10 million worth of furniture. That's what it says on the back of here. And they say, this is the best. It was founded, right here, founded on the back. Founded, right? They found it, is what they did, in 1671. So you're telling me in 1671, someone built a $7.5 million building out of stone with $10 million worth of furniture. In 1671, they had this building. And then in 1875, they turned it into a theater. So 200 years later, they're like, yeah, it'll be a $7.5 million theater. And it talks about the staircases. It talks about, how everything was made out of colored marble and Corinthian columns. There was a green room for ballet, and it was for the opera. The Paris city has been reset many times, over and over and over again. And same with the Eiffel Tower. The Eiffel Tower is an atmospheric energy antenna. There used to be an orb.
Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, he flew 1,200 miles with the wind in his back into the inside of this planet. Not a molten core, far from it. Continental shells bigger than on the surface, seas that were equal to ours, and he took 300 photographs and brought them back, and I tried to see them, and Franklin Birch, who was at the National Archives, would not let me in. Oh, I got in the cage, but I couldn't look at anything. Caldwell found those records and read them in 1940, and he took his round-wing plane in and went right through the Earth and came out at the South Pole in a 125-mile opening there. That's one thing he did. I told you that was 1940. That was a great accomplishment of the round-wing plane at that point. We hadn't had to fight a war. We hadn't had to do anything. 1952, I hesitate to tell you. I've had 3 attempts on my life, and I don't know if I'll walk away from this meeting if I say any more. I've had the needle, I've been poisoned, and I've had people sent to kill me.
The flu that's going around right now might be the worst flu ever. You got people that's sicker than they ever been. And then you have people experiencing symptoms. And these symptoms are 10 times the norm. And now they're saying they have a medicine recall. And the medicines that are on recall are cold and flu medicines. You got Benadryl, you got Dayquil, you have NyQuil, you have Tylenol, you have Advil. And all of these medicines are being urgently recalled. So they're saying that they discovered rodent feces in these medicines. You heard what I just said? The flu medicine that we use to treat the flu are on recall because they found mice feces in these medicines. So what they're doing right now is they're pulling numerous cold and flu medications from shelves in a flu season. And this is because of rodent contamination. Now you got to think about this. These medications treat the flu. These medications help people daily. And once again, we are in a flu season. Now it seems rather convenient that they will find this around this time, don't you think? So I say that to say this. If you have those medications, check those medications because it just might not be the flu that you get sick from now. Pay attention.
In China, the washing machine have 3 separate areas. One is a huge one for the normal outfit, and there is 2 small separate for socks or unders. First, many people asking is, does the water system separate also? The answer is yes.
Fam, I need this.
Here we go, top of the year. This happened on the 31st, New Year's Eve. St. Louis is a green orb meteor that flies over the arc, bro. Here they go, man. We're thinking, folks, something finna come out the sky. Ain't nothing it came out the sky yet. We've been waiting for how long we been broadcasting?
I want
want to know what we know about the biggest mass shooting in American history.
There's a shooter at the concert!
The official story is that Stephen Paddock, barricaded in his room up on the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay, shot more than 1,000 rounds from that room and just committed suicide with no motive, no manifesto, no explanation of why. But everyone that had been there had experienced something completely different than that. Some of these machine guns are in different locations while they're simultaneously firing, just from the way they sound. Like an hour and a half after this guy's allegedly shot himself in the head, we have at least 9 different police body cams. All of them in different locations around the strip record like 7 to 5 volleys of automatic gunfire. Basically, something is happening at almost every casino on the strip. Then there's stuff that happens at the airport. At 10:35, air traffic control says we have an active shooter on the runway.
There's active shooters on the runway.
On the runway?
On the runway. Someone comes onto that radio call and says, I want you to kill the lights on this runway and that runway.
Can I get you to kill the lights for the 19? Mobile 7, I'd like the lights for the 19 off.
If you thought you had a man with a gun somewhere at night, why would you turn off the lights?
Well, the only reason that I would think of is because you also are doing things there that will benefit you to have the darkness to get away.
So apparently, Christmas in 2025 was our last Christmas. Our president, Donald J. Trump, posted and said, this is going to be our last Merry Christmas. Now, he could be talking about anything, but I jumped down that rabbit hole, and he's not the only person saying it. Look at this shit.
So, I didn't think this was true. Check this out. Hey, Alexa, how many days until Christmas 2026?
There aren't any Christmas holidays in 2026.
What? And I thought maybe that was a mistake. Maybe Alexa just said that because of a calendar issue. And then I seen this video right here.
Y'all.
Listen to this shit right here.
I want y'all to listen to this, okay?
Pay attention.
Alexa, how many days until Thanksgiving 2026?
Thanksgiving Day in 2026 is 334 days away, on Thursday, November 26th.
Okay.
Alexa, how many days until Christmas 2026?
There aren't any Christmas holidays in
Why is that?
2026.
So Alexa just said something she was absolutely not supposed to say. Now we heard the president say it. Then we heard AI say it. So what do they really mean? Either that was a mistake, or either they're trying to tell us something without telling us what they want to tell us. You got to remember, AI doesn't erase things by accident. If something's erased, that means somebody erased it. And as far as our president, he did something way more provocative. He told people to enjoy what may be our last Merry Christmas. And that wasn't a typo. None of this sounds like a greeting. This sounds like a warning. Pay attention.
They get a bunch of frozen ahi and they trick everybody into thinking it's beautiful, fresh ahi. So what they do is they get this rotten tuna, feed it into this red chemical dye, which turns it from the brown, poopy color that you see into a bright red color that never goes away. So even if the fish is completely rotten, it'll still look completely fresh because they're injecting this dye, soaking it in this dye to give it the illusion of being fresh ahi. And they're going to inject carbon monoxide gas into the bags and then let the fish marinate in that carbon monoxide gas so it soaks all the way through it. Keeps the fish from smelling or tasting rotten. To the extent it can get so rotten that people can actually die and never have tasted or smelled that it's bad, because the carbon monoxide prevents that from happening. When restaurants or grocery stores turn this into value-added products, so sushi or poke, they do not have to label that this is the type of fish they're using. They can just say fresh made.
We basically can't eat anything.
They don't speak. They don't move. They just watch. For centuries, hikers in the Santa Lucia mountains of California have reported the same thing. Tall, motionless figures standing on distant ridges, staring down at them. They're described as human-shaped silhouettes, 8 to 10 feet tall, wearing cloaks or wide-brimmed hats, perfectly still even in the wind. When approached, they vanish. No footsteps, no path, no trace. Some say the watchers appear when you're alone, off the trail, or exhausted. No one has ever captured a clear image. Cameras glitch, files corrupt, devices shut down. You don't feel afraid at first, not until you realize they're closer than before.
What do you say?
I don't want to book cheap stuff anymore.
This is 303 though. Oh, okay. Oh, this is us. This is not us. We are like, is it? Maybe it's us. Oh my gosh. Wait, is that ours? 303 is not ours, right? That means we have to go in now. Oh my gosh. Okay. I don't want to watch cheap stuff anymore. What the hell is this? Let's go, let's go. Oh my gosh.
They say every single holiday that we celebrate is celebrating one of the 7 deadly sins. Every single holiday.
Okay.
Think about it. So the easiest one, Valentine's Day, celebrates the sin of lust.
Okay.
Christmas celebrates, here, I'm gonna show you, bro.
Okay, let me see.
Check this.
Christmas.
It's a whole list.
What does Christmas
Okay, boom. Easy one. Ready? Valentine's Day represents lust for
Yeah.
obvious reasons. Now, Thanksgiving, that celebrates the sin of gluttony.
Gluttony, yeah, because you're eating.
Because you're eating a lot. You're overeating. You're taking too much more than you need.
Yeah.
Now, Christmas, what do you think that is?
Christmas. Greed?
Greed.
Yeah.
Overconsumption and excess.
Okay.
Right? Wanting more of something.
That makes
We're
sense.
celebrating gifts. We're celebrating gifts. We're not really even celebrating like the birth of Christ because people are so focused on the gifts and shit. Now, Easter. This one's interesting.
I don't know.
The holiday of Easter, what sin would it be?
Easter. I don't know.
Check this out. This one gets deep.
Okay.
So they say it's envy because the Romans were jealous of Jesus, so they murdered him.
Oh.
It's crazy.
Shit.
So St. Patrick's Day, it's sloth because
Why?
people get blacked out drunk.
Oh, what the fuck?
Now Halloween is what? It's wrath. So
Okay.
scaring and hurting people for fun. With masks, it's wrath.
Oh.
So every single one of the holidays is like a 7 deadly sin.
So
You see that? It's the Galactic Empire Imperial logo. That's what our sun looks like. That image was taken with my Nikon P900. That's our sun, and it looks like that Imperial logo.
Hello, this is door-in door. You see, can see outside. This is the net. It's locked. Yeah, security lock. It's very safety and easy open.
China be having some crazy stuff we need in America.
Did we just find Antarctica? And was it before there was ice? This is so crazy. I dive into old maps and I found a 1547 map that, I don't know, you tell me, comment, let me know what you think, but it's really interesting. Look, here, I'll zoom out so you can check out the whole map. But at the bottom, they show land all the way across. Shoot me a message in the comments and I'll throw you a link to this. It's crazy. You'll want to check this out. I mean, look at this. Check out that bird. Yes, look at that. Carrying an elephant. Woo! First time I've seen that actually on maps, and I see a lot of crazy stuff on maps. You got a huge grasshopper right here. And then there's all kinds of different, creatures and beings on the map. I mean, I could spend hours and hours and hours on this. Like, you got Brazil right here. Did you know there's a different Brazil, like the high Brazil or the Brasilia region, which was a different place. So crazy. Anyways, just thought I'd share this. More to come. Please check out my subscription channel as well. And thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being a part of this. And till next time.
Elon Musk says brain chips are going mainstream in 2026.
Yes, actual chips implanted in human brains. Musk just announced that Neuralink plans to begin high-volume production of its brain-computer interface this year, using what he calls an almost entirely automated brain surgery. Automated brain surgery. This device is a coin-sized chip implanted under your skull, with over 1,000 electrodes reading your brain signals and sending them straight to a computer. Right now, it's marketed for people with paralysis, and some patients can already browse the internet, play video games, post online, and control devices using only their thoughts. That part sounds incredible, but here's the part that should make you uncomfortable. Neuralink's first attempt at human trials was rejected by the FDA over safety concerns. They only got approval after making changes. And even then, early implants had problems with electrodes pulling out of brain tissue. Musk says they've fixed that now. And his long-term goal? He says the point is to create a symbiosis between humans and AI, and to give people superpowers. So let's be clear, this is about putting hardware in human brains at scale, with automation, mass production, and one of the most powerful tech billionaires on Earth steering the future.
First of all, David's description of what you can do with metadata, and quoting a mutual friend, Stuart Baker, is absolutely correct. Okay? We kill people based on metadata. But that's not what we do with this metadata.
Shocking news. A 42-year-old mechanic escaped from a hospital in the northern United States in a state of panic, shouting, "They want to take my organs." At first, police believed he was delirious after a minor accident, but 2 hours later, a raid changed everything. The man, Mark Delcourt, was admitted for a minor injury, but his file had been altered to irrecoverable, and he was moved to a technical/maintenance wing. The doors were locked, the cameras were turned away. Mark heard two people whispering, "No family, we start tonight." In panic, he ripped out his IV, crawled into a ventilation duct, and escaped. Police thought he was still panicking, but Mark insisted there are more people alive in there. At 0047, a special tactical unit raided the basement. They found 4 patients strapped down, one lying on a table next to a tray of surgical tools stained with dried blood. Behind a false wall, they discovered a secret room containing 6 unregistered medical refrigerators and 28 files marked with a red X. The American public is in shock. A hospital, supposedly the safest place, suddenly appears to be the most dangerous for patients without family by their side.
Hey, bro, he said stop dancing and pay attention to the road. That's what he said. That's what he said. No, not.
You one dumb bitch. I told you. Them young boys, they don't play that shit. Pull a gun out of your damn ass, I'm gonna jump the hell back and let them shot your ass. Won't fucking around.
But that's what you told him. That's what you said.
I was in the car. They ain't hear me. You gotta roll that window down and tail.
Grandpa lived so long for a reason. Listen to him, bro.
Do y'all remember Beetlejuice? It turns out he was playing everybody. He just came out and said what nobody wanted to believe. He just let us know that he was just playing a character, y'all. A character. He is not slow. He is not clueless. In fact, he realized that people wanted a character. And so he gave people a character and he capitalized off of this. And now he is deciding to retire because he is 57 years old and he's made enough money to retire, y'all. What is this world, y'all? This is crazy.
I'm Beetlejuice, and yeah, I've seen it all. They called me names, laughed at how I looked, how I talked, said I was dumb, said I was a clown, but I always knew the truth. You think I didn't know the number between 2 and 4, please? I knew, I just didn't say it. I played the fool because that's what people wanted. I gave them something to laugh at, something to remember, and in return, I made a living, I made a legacy. That's a good deal, if you ask me. I gave people joy in a world that's hard and cold. They saw me and forgot they paid for a moment. That means something. But now, I am a 57-year-old man. I'm tired. I've played the game long enough. The spotlight doesn't warm me like it used to. These days, I dream of quiet, no cameras, no scripts, no noise, just peace. I don't regret a second. I live strange, I live loud, I live real. But now, I just want to be less than great. No makeup, no character, just me. And that's enough.
I am completely baffled, y'all. I don't know what to say. He always knew the answer to 2 + 2. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, this age of Aquarius is moving so fast. We're going to get ready to find out some things that a lot of people are not ready to find out. But did any of you guys know this? And I am not surprised at all, man. But let me know what you guys think about this video, y'all. The shift is here. Let's get it. Peace in.
According to Google, there's only 90 million cows in the United States. That's what's up. But only 34 to 35 million of those cows is used for meat. Now here's where the math starts acting funny. McDonald's also sells 6.5 million burgers each day. That's just hamburgers. That's not including Big Macs, double cheeseburgers, quarter pounders, just burgers. McDonald's don't even own a farm, not one. They're competing with Wendy's, Burger King, Chick-fil-A, Five Guys, the list goes on and on. But somehow the meat supply is always there? Cows don't grow in no 20 minutes. I asked a bull hog owner I know. He said it takes 1 to 2 years to build a cow. So how the hell is a mathin when millions of burgers are being sold daily? Then it gets weirder than that. It says McDonald's has contracts with hospitals too. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's out there. And look around. Where are the new graveyards? I googled it. It straight up said graveyards are barely built anymore. But people die every day, right? So where everybody going? Then they hit you with this. People don't choose burial anymore, it's too expensive, which is a fact. Now 60% of people are getting cremated. And by 2030, 2040, it's gonna jump up 80%. We got millions of burgers being sold, cows that take years to grow, no new graveyards being built, and most people disappearing into ash. I ain't saying nothing. I'm just saying the math ain't mathin'.
This video should terrify you. You see, he's part of an experiment and he doesn't know it. And all these other dudes are in on it. You see, he thinks they're taking a test and it looks pretty simple. You're supposed to match the line on the left to the one that's the same on the right. And yo, at first, everybody answers correctly.
On the third trial, something happens. 2.
Now homie knows they're wrong and you can see the look on his face. But check out what he does next.
2. The subject denies the evidence of his own eyes and yields to group influence.
Damn, that's crazy. And you know what's even more crazy? 37% of the people that participated in this experiment would rather be wrong with the crowd than to be right alone. But even if one person stood up, conformity dropped from 37% to only 5%. And you want to know what's really messed up? This wasn't even that deep. It was just lines on a card. Can you imagine what happens when the decisions become even more complex? And everybody thinks that this can't happen to them. But you'd be surprised how easy it is for you to lose your sense of self. And that right there is the most dangerous part about conformity, because you stop being yourself and you start being safe. The minute you stop thinking for yourself, you stop growing. And when you stop growing, you disappear into the crowd.
COVID was the greatest example of all.
These archival footage make you think that perhaps humanity has taken a wrong turn in its development. Now I'm going to show you the forgotten technologies of the past, which were often decades ahead of their time. Surprisingly, these shots were taken back in 1897, and they depict the first electric scooters. And these shots of this car were actually taken in 1925. Do you notice anything strange? The car rides on them without a driver, as this is the first Opel car on autopilot. In 1931, an unusual train with a propeller appeared, which looked more solid than its modern counterparts and reached speeds of up to 250 kilometers per hour. Our ancestors were also good at having fun. These are shots from car racing on the control panel in 1960. Surprisingly, the participants controlled the cars using full-fledged steering wheels connected by wires, a real analog of modern simulators. But perhaps the most impressive was the Transformer car, capable of turning into an airplane and reaching flight speeds of up to 300 kilometers per hour, a technology that still looks futuristic today.
Did y'all see the video of those super shamans coming together? And I don't know if they're super shamans or not, but the reason why is because they're the best shamans in their region. But they all came together and they all did a ceremony someplace, some remote location. But besides that, right, the reason why they all came together is because they all had a vision of America falling. they're going crazy out there. You have pictures of Trump, Xi Jinping, Vladimir Putin, and they're burning it and they're throwing X's on it. They got skulls, they got flour, all types of things in this ritual that they're doing out there. And they're basically saying that this is the end of America. America is coming to an end. And those other countries that they're portraying as well too, they got their leaders out there and they're saying these certain countries are coming to an end. But America is going to fall the hardest. It's going to fall the fastest. And they got Trump out there and they're portraying Trump and showing you all these things. And again, like I said, it's these shamans, these people who quote unquote travel into the astral realm and pull visions and stories and everything like that. And yeah, man, it's crazy. So something is definitely going on because again, it's not just New York City. I'm finding out that a lot of these places, they didn't drop the, their so-called thing that they drop on New Year's Eve. Atlanta didn't drop the peach, New York didn't drop the ball, and any other places are experiencing this. But like I said, y'all, this new year that's leading into March of 2026, right? That's the beginning of the new year. We're gonna see some crazy things happening in the next few years, in the next few months. Let me know what you guys think about this video, y'all. The shift is here. Let's get it. Peace in.
Literally feeding your kids plastic glue and industrial lubricants. I'm talking about Oreos that cream in the middle. It's not cream at all. It's rapeseed oil whipped with emulsifiers that act like edible glue, holding the sludge together, and the cookie part, stripped cocoa and chemical stabilizers enough to start clogging your arteries if you eat them too much. I scanned them with the Reveal It app, and it came back as 82% processed. This is unbelievable.
Would you work in these factories knowing this? And that's a wrap on this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If so, don't forget to hit and smash the like button for me, smash the subscribe button, be part of the family. Remember, stay woke, and I'll catch you next time.